Hey guys, we are in cloudy San Marcos today, filming on the iPhone because I actually forgot my camera. Sunday fun day. Hey guys. So yesterday we were working on some mods, which you guys probably, excuse me, by now you've already seen that video. But what brings us out on a Sunday in gloomy weather, you might ask? Well, I'm Hispanic, so sometimes we got hookups with our little mechanics. Support your local mechanic, guys. It'll save you obviously a lot of money, and though this is probably a project that I could have undertaken had somebody let me borrow their garage or drive bay, we still needed to obviously get some jack stands and jacks, and being honest, I kind of got lazy. So we're here today to get another goodie installed. You guys will see soon enough, and on top of that we will obviously have some little drive-bys to see the differences. So let's go in. Alright guys, so quick disclaimer is that this has been previously recorded. So I'm going to show you where to expect the bolts that you have to remove. First two are right here on the pipe, the resonator pipe that meets the down pipe. You'll remove those first two. Then you're just going to follow the pipe all the way down. It swoops over the rear axle to the pipe that's got the muffler connected to it right here, those two bolts. Then you'll just proceed, and then the muffler itself will be easy to remove. The hardest part will be the tips right here, this whole bracket plate, as it consists of 5 bolts, 2 on each side and 1 right there in the middle that you can barely see at the bottom. There's the left side. There's also 2 up at the top that you can't see. I'm going to suggest using a ratcheting wrench to make your life easier. We encountered that it was a very tight area, so if you use a manual wrench, you're going to have a hard time constantly lifting your hand and readjusting to remove those. So I highly suggest a ratcheting wrench. So here you guys see the Greddy resonator bolted to the down pipe. This is a 3-piece set, so that's a huge resonator, but we'll get back to that in a moment. There it's bolted to the new 3-inch diameter piping that will go over the axle to the new muffler from the Greddy kit. One thing I will stress is that this was a very high quality kit, guys. There's no modification required, straight bolt-on like you would expect. And then here's the new Greddy tips coming out of the bumper, right where you expect them. Again, no modifications, but let's get straight to the sound clips, guys. Alright, so quick update. One thing that I never forgot to record, originally, is what the exhaust system sounds like on the inside. A loyal fan decided to ask me, you know, what this exhaust system sounds like on the inside. So it's actually really quiet. It's not loud at all. We're gonna get onto the freeway just so you can hear what like a decent RPM sounds like. I'll do a pull right here. So there's a pull and you probably couldn't really hear it. I'm currently in 6th gear doing 60 miles an hour, right above 2,000 RPM. So you're probably hearing either the intake or the road noise a lot more. You can't hear the exhaust at all. And if you put it on cruise control, even less so. I'm getting closer up to 70 and getting closer to 3,000 RPM, which this is the range I feel most people will drive, anywhere from 70 to 80 miles per hour at about 3,000 RPM. That's exactly it. I'm literally holding speed, just so you guys know. It's mainly wind noise or the road, depending on what road surface you're on and your tires. If you have aftermarket rims that aren't quiet, you'll probably hear that more too. And so to show you again, I'm going to wait for this car to pass me on the left side, and I'm going to accelerate a bit so you can hear it. Heard the intake kick in for the turbo spooling. And the blow-off valve, obviously. And you finally hear the exhaust kick up a little bit. But that's about it. And I'm not going to do a video with the windows rolled down because it's honestly, you'll probably hear obviously the exhaust a little bit more, but you're going to hear a lot of the wind flow and the wind noise just naturally. So there you guys go. That's what the exhaust sounds like on the inside, especially when you're driving at a normal consistent RPM range. You heard me obviously driving and doing a pull. Inside with windows rolled up, it is not loud at all. It is probably the most perfect 3-inch exhaust system you're going to buy in the market, especially if you don't want something obnoxious or something that's not going to attract attention from police or any other law enforcement. That's probably your best. Here we'll just have to slow down so you can hear it. And I'll do some downshifting. Yeah, you probably didn't really hear those downshifts. It's super quiet. Here, I'll try to kind of rev it right underneath because there's a bridge coming up, just so you guys can, you know, maybe try to hear it. Hopefully these guys don't think I'm a douchebag for doing this. I'm holding high RPM on purpose. Yeah, that was underneath the bridge. Couldn't really hear it that much either, but yeah. Hope this video was hope you guys enjoyed that video. Hopefully it was informational. Have a great night. Signing off. Hey guys, so as you guys can clearly see in the clips, you know, the exhaust sound is actually not so bad. I do kind of want to stress out a lot of different things that you might have seen on the video and kind of clarify a few others. So again, when you get the Cat Back exhaust system from Greddy, it will have all the proper hardware and gaskets. It does come as 3 separate pieces. I bought mine used, so 2 pieces were already pre-assembled, as you guys obviously saw in a previous video of me picking it up. But like I said, there was no modification required to the exhaust system. It bolted on directly exactly the way you need it to go. All the hangers matched up. It was a really smooth process. The biggest part, like I mentioned earlier, was removing the stock tips that are actually hard mounted onto the bumper. The exhaust system, actually what it is the exhaust system connects to this little plate that is actually the stock tips, which is the reason why they look so big, but the stock piping isn't that wide. This one of the things I really do like is it's 3-inch piping all the way back, as opposed to a few other brands like the MagnaFlow and MBRP knockoffs that are, I believe last time I checked, 2.5-inch diameter. However, the first thing that I'm going to recognize is you might have seen the video and kind of thought like, hey, wow, it sounds kind of burly and loud. It's not loud at all. When you do the cold startup, it is a little more audible than the stock unit, and it is a little rougher and meaner tone. But as you can see, it gives you a huge resonator and almost just as big of an actual muffler can adapted to the whole exhaust system. So you're gonna have a lot of baffling, but it does refine the sound quite a bit. As you heard in my unit, as I let off the throttle and just let the car coast, you do have that kind of gurgling sound coming back, and that's without me ever having to do that disconnect of the cruise control little unit on the clutch pedal. Personally, I really like the sound. It never gets to a point that's annoying. As you saw in the freeway clip, once you actually get up to speed and you're coasting anywhere from 70 to 80, you really can't hear the exhaust at all. The only time you will hear it is when you're getting on the throttle, and it has a very nice and pleasant sound. Huge thing is because none of that sound drones into the actual cabin, so you can hear the exhaust, but not to the point where it ever becomes annoying or unbearable. So it's not extremely loud, but people on the outside can definitely hear it, and it's kind of nice and subtle. The tips definitely look nice with the Greddy engraving, the logos engraved on there. And like I said, they polished up nicely. I know you probably didn't see that in my video, but we polished them after the whole install, and they look very, very nice. And the sound, like I said, is just it's good for the build that I'm going for. Again, touching base again on the blow-off valve video, the build that I'm going for is I want performance, but I didn't want it to be overly obvious. So if you guys are looking for something louder or aggressive, you're probably going to want to look elsewhere. MagnaFlow might be a better option. Same with MBRP and a few other options. Keep in mind though that some of the cheaper stuff like I said, you're probably going to have to do a slight bit of modifying to get the actual exhaust system to fit. Now, I will tell you right off the bat, the Greddy exhaust system is quite expensive, as it's the newest exhaust system for the Veloster on the market. MSRP is about $1,000, and that's usually for what around you can find them for most aftermarket sellers. One of the reasons why I jumped on it was because I had a nice opportunity to buy one at a fairly lower rate, because it was used and somebody from the community was leaving the Veloster side. So I jumped on it. But you could do, especially if you're just trying to get louder and you're not really looking for a performance gain, you could do what a lot of people do and just chop off the muffler, like you kind of saw how big that thing is, and just straight pipe it back. That'll obviously give you that louder system. You can also go with something like I said, MagnaFlow, which to me MagnaFlow is the cheapest exhaust system in the aftermarket. From a reputable source. I found them to be attainable from slightly over $600 for the full system. And there's obviously the cheaper brands like MBRP, which depending on where you live might not be a bad choice, because like I said, they do offer a 2304 stainless steel version, but they also offer a cheaper version, which if you're in a state that goes through a lot of weather, it's probably not your best bet. But like I said, it's a lot more affordable. I've seen some for $400 for a full system. So it's really what's up to you guys. Hopefully this video kind of educated you and was able to help you out a bit, especially if you were looking at the Greddy system. You can kind of see the pros and cons. I am perfectly satisfied with it. I'm really happy about it. Sorry that I got lazy and I didn't do the install myself, but this is one of the easiest installs ever. If you've ever installed an exhaust system on a previous car, you know exactly what to expect. And if you haven't, like I mentioned, it's really just the removal of a few bolts, with the exception to the stock tips. And then bolting it on together is the easiest thing. So yeah, guys, again, any questions or comments, leave them down below. Thanks for all the love and support, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye. Yay, the GoPro's still on the car and it didn't fall off. Okay, bye.